And we are live. How we doing? Drip, what's good, man?
Doing good.
How
are you?
Hey, Drip.
Yeah.
Nintendo's history is going to tell us a thing or two about the Switch 2.
Yes, it is, Geeb. Yes, it is.
Yes. All right, that's one thing I didn't do. I didn't make notifications for this live stream. But guys, we're live streaming right now. If you're watching this after the live stream has already concluded, thank you. Please leave a like, maybe leave a comment for us so we can read it. But if you're here live, thank you. And enjoy the chat room as we record a podcast, which we will do in a few minutes here. But first, we'll do the little filtering area. That's what we gonna do. That's what we gonna do, Drip. What we gonna do?
Yes. Yo, Power Mad, how are you?
The Mad of Power Man.
How are you? Trying to get this chat set up so I can actually see what the fuck's going on here. Pop out chat. Boom. I know what I'm doing. I've done this before.
Hey. Hey, Pat Matt, did you ever get that 5-star review to work on Apple Podcasts? I know it is.
Yeah,
it gets
go
a little
leave
bit.
that for sure.
It gets a little bit weird. I had sent a message out to everybody because we desperately need 5-star reviews or just reviews in general, but 5-star ones specifically.
On Apple?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but mainly Apple, but Spotify too. But they mean a lot more than that. They're worth a lot. Like to get a review, a positive review, means that you'll be pushed on audio platforms.
Oh, really?
Yes, they're incredibly important.
Come on, people.
We only have 9. We have 7. We almost have 800 subscribers. We have like hundreds of audio followers and only 9 reviews. Like we need reviews badly. Otherwise, the audio will continue to go in a neutral direction.
Well, we should definitely talk about that during the actual podcast. Then we should mention that.
Yeah, we should do it way more often. Honestly, it really should be part of the intro. 140,
I was gonna say,
145
I don't even remember
episodes.
the last time we've even mentioned.
No, I just don't do it very much. It's on me partly, but guys, get some reviews in.
Yeah, the intro is your job.
Shut up, Drip.
You had one job.
Yes, I have only one job.
One job.
Are we live? We live. Coffees with Games. What's good, man? Good to have you, Lenny. Guys, leave a like, please. We appreciate that.
I keep posting, but the review doesn't pop up. No, that's some bullshit.
That sounds like Apple being assholes.
Coffee with Games. Hello.
Maybe try a Spotify, Power Mad. Apple's better if you can do Apple, but maybe try Spotify. I'm not sure what to tell you. It sucks, man. I appreciate you trying. I mean, that means a lot.
For sure. Hey, make sure you leave a like on the stream. People.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we got as you guys can probably tell yourself, there is not a lot going on in the world of Nintendo right now. And while we're not a news podcast, we do try to follow the trends and make our episodes based off what is popular at the moment, so therefore to try to attract the biggest audience we can. However, right now there's nothing going on, so we kind of made our own topic tonight. We reached in our bag of ideas that we have accumulated over the past few months.
Yeah, and before we even jump into what it is, I want to say I'm very proud of us because we've had this bag of ideas that we've had in the podcast ideas room that we haven't touched at all. This is the first time we've actually had to go in and pull an idea from the idea bag. So we've done pretty well.
Yes.
I'm proud of us for not just resorting to the idea bag all the time when don't have anything.
That's correct. But here we are in the idea bag tonight. But it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be a really good episode.
It is. Yeah, it is. I love talking about this shit. This is like, Switch 2 speculation.
Oh yeah. But like thought out. Well planned.
Yeah.
Kind of, maybe a little bit.
Yes, it's well planned. No, we got some cool information. We got some stuff about like the what the memory is going to be. I think that is very, very interesting. That
it
part
is
of all
interesting.
this, the Samsung stuff, I think that's really cool.
We wanted to talk about that a couple weeks ago, but we just decided to hold off on it, and tonight's the perfect night to introduce it. Full Metal, thank you for the review on Spotify. I've never checked the Spotify review. So let's go see what the Spotify reviews are for us.
Let's do it.
I wonder how many we have on there. Full Metal could probably tell us.
We have one 5-star review.
No, I know you didn't check it that fast. Mr. Slowfinkies.
Why aren't you talking about the soon-to-break Switch 3 Pro news? That's a good question.
We have
the Switch 3 Pro.
We have 8 reviews on Spotify. Wait, oh, you have to do it on mobile? That's so dumb. Spotify.
Is there?
Do I have a Spotify app? Please tell me I have a Spotify app.
Where did the person leave the 1-star review because you asked?
That was Apple because I talked about
you
masking.
said something about wearing a mask.
Yeah, go fuck themselves.
God, calm down,
man. Okay, we're gonna check the reviews here. Let's see. Let's read some reviews right now. We'll do that. Can I please?
I'm writing this from the year 2050. We're just now getting the Switch 3 Pro.
Why can't I select
What's up, Ari?
Rate the show. There we go. 5 stars. Submit.
Damn,
why can't I
wait
why
for Hari
can't
today, and I just remembered that I was supposed to do it.
Full Metal, did you write a review or just leave a 5 stars? Because it looks like I can't actually leave any word review, which is a bit silly. But so we have 8 reviews and it's 4.5. So that also means somebody left us a 1-star review on Spotify as well. I bet it was the same guy.
Same person. Well, you know what, Geeb? Don't be asking people to wear masks. Don't tell people to wear masks. You piece of shit. How could you even say anything about that?
How could I? 4 years ago.
Yo, Fabi, what's up?
Fabi, what's good, man? I saw you streaming last night, Fabi, but I was going to bed. I felt bad. I didn't hop in, but it was super late.
Oh yeah, I got the notification like this morning.
Yeah. Hari, what's up, man? What's up, Hari? Why am I based, Hari? I'm not preparing to go into an oven. I'm not a turkey.
Oh God.
Got another buddy to do it. Hey, you're good. I got another buddy to do it. Hari, are you getting a buddy to leave us a review? Because that would be amazing. Thank you so much.
No, I was supposed to do something for him. He messaged me last night.
No, you're not amazing anymore, Hari. Sorry.
Yeah, it has to do with gambling and state lines, and I'm in a state that can do the things he needed to do, so he wanted me to place a bet for him or something. Play a hand of blackjack online.
I thought you could talk about fireworks for a second.
No.
I'm like, that's not so bad.
Anything like completely crazy, but I said, yeah, dude, I'll do it.
Yeah, Strip talking about his illegal activities with minors. Anyway,
he's not a minor.
That's true. Hari's no longer a minor officially.
He hasn't been for a long time.
That's true. Anyway, 5-star, no words. Yeah, it looks like you can only leave 5 stars with no words. So yeah, just go ahead and Spotify. Go to Spotify if you guys haven't already. Leave 5 stars. There's 70 right now. If all 7 of you could leave a review, that'd be 7 more reviews that we have. That would be great.
You should do it,
that'd
guys.
Be fantastic.
Come on, it's the pre-show. Just do it.
Yeah. Find us on the audio platforms, whether you listen on Spotify or Apple.
Well, it sounds like
leave us a review.
Spotify is an easy place to do it. All you gotta do is just hit the 5-star button.
Yeah, Spotify's super easy. So yeah, do that, please, guys.
If you do it on Apple, all you gotta do is just say,
Coffees with Games, Caffeinated, I got a bone to pick with you, man. Where the fuck have been your streams this week? Listen. Oh, my camera just disconnected.
Oh, I see that. Yeah.
I was getting to it.
Coming back?
Eccentric.
I think I'm all alone over here.
I'll come back in a second here. Let me give you this other screen here.
Cool. Full screen.
I have to turn all my lights off and then turn them all back on again.
Welcome to my room, everyone.
Hey, Drew, I'm gonna unplug my headphones for this so I can get this done easier. So you're on the show for a minute.
Okay. Exactly. You know how long I've been wanting to crack a bush apple alongside the podcast. Man, I don't even know if there's gonna be bush apple again ever. I don't think it's gonna happen. They've already moved on to peach. And judging by what they're doing in NASCAR right now, I would guess if they even do peach another year, the next one's going to be watermelon because the guy they just signed is a watermelon farmer. So,
a watermelon farmer.
A watermelon farmer, yeah. I think Bush Apple's gone for good. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they'll bring it back in a couple of years.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised. Not. After it seems like they've let it go forever. They're letting it go. It's either going to be McRib or it comes back on occasion.
Yeah, I mean, they brought the peach in. They're gonna. I'm telling you, the next one's gonna be watermelon. It's going to be.
And I'm not opposed to that.
Like they just signed a guy for a multi-year deal to sponsor him in NASCAR. It's like NASCAR's biggest sponsor, and the guy's a fucking watermelon farmer. Hey, it's going to happen.
Caffeinated said in the chat. Oh, I need to pull that chat back up, by the way, over here. Caffeinated said about looks like there's no way to review the podcast on Google Podcasts, which, by the way, Google Podcasts I've told you this, Caffeinated. Google Podcasts is literally going away soon. I would recommend switching off as soon as you can, because you're gonna hop in one day and it's all gonna be gone.
They just pushed all that to YouTube. Right?
It's all on YouTube Music now, so I'm sure you're like all of your playlists and stuff like that. Whatever you have set up is probably gonna transfer over. I'm just letting you know that app is to be dead soon.
Google, man, they are just the kings of killing shit off.
Yeah,
they're so good at it.
Where you guys want to leave us a review, even if your app has an option to, I very much stress and recommend that you either. I thought my camera went out again. I recommend that you either go to Spotify or Apple, because that's where it leaves the most gravity as far as like importance. So please go to one of those two places to leave the review. If you have an iPhone, it'll be super easy for you. If you have anything else, just go ahead and use Spotify. And Spotify's super duper easy. Even your free account, I think your free account you can leave a review. But even I don't know if maybe it's not free. Maybe I don't know. I'm talking to my ass now. Anyway, go to Spotify or Apple, one of those two places.
Oh, wonderful! You don't follow many on Google Podcasts. Podcasts you want to use? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't listen to a lot of podcasts. I think the only podcast I really listen to
is ours.
It's honestly, I listen to ours back after we do it, but I do it because I just want to make sure that I get better every time. If I do something
every single time,
I'm like, okay, that was dumb. Don't do that. You sound like a dipshit. Don't say that.
Yeah.
You watch it back. It's good. It's wonderful.
Every time I watch our podcast back on the TV down here, Abby always walks in, like, gives me this dirty look, like, you egotistic piece of shit.
It's research, okay? It's not like that. We're just trying to become better at our jobs. That is all. Oh, hey, beer of the week. Do it now before we forget. What do you got?
I got crisp apple from Angry Orchard. Again,
you know how I feel about that, but I'm glad you have it.
I mean,
you're enjoying it.
This is I enjoy it. I wouldn't choose it like on my own, but if it's given to me, I'm like, yeah, I'll drink this. It's good.
I went with something a little different, which I'm gonna have to grab another one and put in my little purple cup here. Hang on.
Oh, you little purple cuppy. And I've mentioned this before the show, guys, but if you ever had the chance, if you ever at a bar or at an event and they have Angry Orchard on tap, get it. Angry Orchard on tap is fire.
Is it real? I mean,
it is.
It's so sweet, man.
It's good. It's not beer. It's not beer. It's a cider.
Right,
and if you
get
get it on tap, it's just so crispy good. It's better.
I can't talk about
it's better than Bush Apple. Like a crispy apple on tap.
Get the fuck out of here.
On tap, dude, is better than Bush Apple.
Where's the sound I'm looking for? Where is it? That one.
Pocket Cast pulls the review data from Apple. I love Pocket Cast. I've been using Pocket Casts for like almost 10 years at this point.
What is that?
I think they have a paid version now, but it's just a podcast app. It's the beauty about podcasts is you don't need any particular service. It's almost like your RSS oh my god, I can't talk right now. Your RSS feed is Google, like YouTube, and then instead of going to someone's YouTube channel, you can just go to any app that you choose and pull up people's YouTube videos. That's how podcasts work. So you can download whatever app that you want, and it pulls from the same database. So
Nice.
So I like Pocket Cast. It's a good app to use, and again, it just pulls from the rest. And apparently, if you leave a review on that app, it goes to Apple. So
cool.
Do that.
Well, I got I can't talk much shit on yours. I have Twisted Tea Peach.
Yeah, Twisted. That shit's garbage, man.
I like it. And you know what? It's warm outside, and I was like, what am I going to do? Am I going to get some Bush? No, I don't want that right now. I want something. I told you, I got some peach tea.
Don't get me wrong.
A Southern Belle over here.
Don't get me wrong.
Great.
I'll drink it, and I'll enjoy it.
It's good.
But
it tastes good. It tastes like fucking tea. Who doesn't like tea?
I'll drink it and enjoy it, but it's like, don't sit here and tell me that, Angry Orchard's bad, but here you are drinking a Twisted Tea.
Okay,
like,
this is not nearly as sweet as that. Not nearly as sweet. This is way more refreshing.
Why is sweet a bad thing? Well, I feel like sweet is a good thing when you're drinking, talking about sweetened tea or cider. Sweet is a good thing.
Sweet tea. It's not really sweet tea.
No, you know what's bad. You know what's bad. Anything that tries to copy like Angry Orchard and not Bush Apple. Obviously, that got it right. But very few do. Like if you ever have any sort of like cidery drink, I feel like for the most part they all suck. And you go back to Angry Orchard, like, oh, that's what cider is supposed to taste like.
I disagree. I feel like all of them do it better, honestly.
Well, to each their own. This is why we have our stores.
I'm telling you, woodchuck. You got to try woodchuck, man.
All right.
They used to have that shit down at the college lunch. That's the only place I think I ever drank it ever. They had a green kind and a red kind, and they were both fantastic.
Well, good.
I don't think I've had them since then, and I couldn't even tell you. I don't really remember what they taste like, but
yeah,
it's been a while. But they were good. I know that. I drank a lot of them.
Powerman said I gave 5-star on Spotify. As for Apple, knowing Apple, you'll get about 8 of my reviews all at the same time. Yeah, it'd be funny.
Woodchuck is pretty okay.
Never had woodchuck, but a woodchuck could sometimes.
What about Dixon cider? I don't. Is that an Australian thing? Because I don't know if we have that in this country.
Dixon. I have never had Dixon either. It sounds like it'd be good.
Might be a down under thing.
See, I like actual cider, not hard cider. If I'm gonna drink cider, I prefer like fresh cider, like real cider. And like the best place to go to get real cider is from you check out your local farms and places like that. They'll have a big selection, or not big selection. They'll have a really nice fresh cider typically, depending on the farm, of course. But there's one farm that Appy and I will go apple picking at every year, and this farm also makes fresh cider, and it's just like. But they also make apples. Wonderful. They make fresh apple cider slushies, so it's the same thing, but they just make it into slushy. And it's like, oh my God, dude. It's so much better than.
I just got it. Oh, he played us. I don't even get it. I don't get it. Say it again. Just say it again. Say it again out loud. Do it. Do it.
Dick's on. I'm trying to say it like it's obviously a dick joke, right? Dick's on cider?
No. Just say it fast.
Dixon cider. Oh!
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Too.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
That was a good one.
That
right past
it took a minute. Maybe Australian accent is more clear when you say it. Oh boy. Fappy's in the house, everybody. Gobble gobble. Oh man.
That was a good one. That was good. Oh man, I did not see that one.
Yeah, you caught us both off guard on that one. I was going to say we got 11 people hanging out right now. Appreciate you guys. Hope you're having a good time. Please leave us a like. Can we get to 10 likes before we start this podcast in a few minutes? Can we do it? Can we get?
I'm sure we can.
To.
I would hope.
To 10 likes.
Oh, Fappy.
Hello.
You dirty, dirty boy. You
dirty, dirty Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Dirty
apple
Dan.
cider vinegar.
That shit is the bane of my existence. I hate that stuff. Even a capful of my salad, which they say it's like good to do, is healthy. I taste that shit. It's awful. I hate that shit, man. Ugh.
I'm not.
It's so, and I like vinegar. I'm the weirdo who will drink the vinegar if you make like a good salad with like a vinaigrette, or just your own vinaigrette you make yourself with vinegar. I'll drink that shit. But like for some reason, apple cider vinegar is way too strong for me. I can't do it.
Well,
give you a like just for saying it. Thanks, Fappy.
That's pretty good. I want to go back and clip that shit because that's hilarious.
Thanks, Power Man.
Oh, that is a nice shirt, G.
Ignore my nipples and my boobies.
That's a nice shirt, G. Where'd you get that shirt?
I got that shirt on DixonCider.com.
Oh. Apple cider vinegar makes great hot sauce.
Really?
That's one thing I don't think I've ever made myself is hot sauce.
Yeah, me either. I mean, I when I'm eating a hot sauce, I leave it to the pros, man. There's some good hot sauces out there.
I do like hot sauce, but
better click on the link for DixonCider.com.
Oh no!
Let's stop these jokes now.
Oh, it's too good though. It's too good.
Okay, yeah, let's go ahead.
Send me a recipe. Hell yeah, send me a recipe, please.
I'm actually gonna drop this link in the chat right here. We got this link before we get started here. Oops, that's the wrong
Homemade
thing.
specials. Hell yeah, for sure. Send that to me.
Guys, if you haven't done already, here's the Apple Podcast link. If you have an iPhone, just click on that. It'll open up your podcast app and leave us a nice little 5-star review. Here, this link will bring you to Spotify. and you can leave us a review right there on Spotify. We're trying to push that at the moment. We got very few reviews, and it would really help on the audio platform. I know we'd mainly do this for YouTube, but I do this because I like making podcasts beyond YouTube as well, so like audio stuff. So make sure to go leave us a review if you haven't done so already. Really, really would help us out. And I gave you the links right there, so please go click them.
Do it.
Caesar Braindead, how you doing, man? Good to see you. So Drip, I have a rupee.
Where'd you get that from?
So we went to the mall the other couple weekends ago, and
I can see that it's green, but there's no light behind it, so I can't really see it.
There
it is. Lovely.
Ooh. Bada-beady-boo-doo-beady-boom. So we went to the mall recently, and in the mall they had this little like what do you call it? And it was Japanese, but it's not just Japanese. But it was some sort of import from Japan where it's like a grab bag kind of thing, and you get what you get. Yeah, so it's like but it was Zelda themed. So
Where?
I don't remember. I think maybe it was FYE. I don't think it was, but one of these random stores in the mall. Had like these Japan import little toy bags for $10. You didn't know what you were getting. It could be like Link, could be Zelda, could be a couple different things.
All Zelda related?
All Zelda related, yeah. We got one Wind Waker Link, so that was pretty cool. He's actually on my shelf up there. He fell down. He's fallen down. You can't really see him.
It's fine.
But yeah, so we got two of them, and then we got a rupee in the second one, which is a little bummer, but yeah, they're pretty cool. Not worth $10. Not worth $10.
No.
Okay. So Drip, do you want to get this show on the road?
Sure.
Gobble, gobble, gobble. Oh, hey, memberships. Hey, there's memberships too. If you guys want to become a member, we're doing a member. We're doing a members podcast tomorrow evening.
Shit. Yes, we are.
Yeah, we are. And then we're doing another members podcast next. Oh, wait, we should just plug this real fast. We'll plug it again on the show in a minute. So here's the next 2 weeks, right? Tonight, obviously, we're doing this podcast. Tomorrow night, we're doing a members podcast for members. Friday night is not podcast related, but Drip and I will be doing. This Friday is Geeb night, so we'll be hanging out on my Twitch this week, just playing some video games. But then the week after that, Tuesday will be a members podcast. Wednesday, actually, Jip, we haven't decided. Are we doing 2 podcasts this week or just one on Friday? Is that TBD?
Yes. Let's make that TBD.
Wednesday's TBD.
I don't know.
But for sure, next Friday we're having Chess on the show. Next Friday,
Chess is coming on again.
Can't wait. Chess kicked us from his Discord. We're gone.
He kicked us out of his Discord.
We're banned.
Blocked from his Discord.
Never to be invited again. But no, we're going to be. He kicked us out because him and his community are planning something really fun to do with Drip and I on the podcast next Friday. And I'm going to stop right there because we'll just start the show, and I'll say this all again in a second. But yeah, stay tuned to that, guys. Stay tuned to that.
All right, music coming down.
Okay.
Ready when you are.
Oh, no!
This podcast was brought to you by Uncle Geeb Productions. Hey guys, and welcome everyone to the Drippy G Podcast. I'm your host, Uncle Geeb, and with me is host Media Gaming. We record this podcast live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. 5 stars, baby. On tonight's episode, we are talking about the Switch 2, but we're taking our own little take on it. We'll get to that in just a minute. We're gonna get to a little bit of Nintendo history as well, so that should be fun. Drip, how are you doing this week, man?
Doing fantastic. The weather's great. Stuff's starting to grow back on the trees. I love that. I've been outside a little bit. I went to a basketball court to shoot a video yesterday that I can't even use. That pissed me off. Other than that, it's been a great week. How about you?
It's been pretty good. This week has been pretty good. I can't complain. Again, it's a midweek thing, so it's weird that we still do this. But
yes. Well, hey, let me ask you again quickly. How was the end of last week for you?
End of last week was great. We had a great Fortnite. We had a great Fortnite Friday.
We did have a great
super
Fortnite
fun
Friday. It was very fun.
It was so glad that Seth always puts on that show. We just kind of tag along. It's always so much fun.
It was good. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And
Probably the best one yet.
Today I was halfway through my first episode of Bad Batch, and suddenly I go upstairs to find a bunch of dog excrement all over the floor because the dog got sick. Yeah, that wasn't so great. But you know, it happens. And the worst part is I couldn't even tell what dog it was. I think it was Nick, but I wasn't sure.
Okay, time out. The size of your two dogs.
They're very similar.
Are they? The only time I've seen the other one, I thought that one was much smaller than Nick.
No, Owl's probably I think she's a German Shepherd mix.
I've only seen her like
German Shepherd
once.
Lab mix. Olive is like, I don't know, I think she's like 50, 60 pounds, somewhere in that ballpark, and Nick is in the 80, 90 ballpark range.
Why did I think your other dog was so much smaller? Probably because I've only seen it once.
Because she has very stubby legs. She got very cute stubby legs.
Okay,
she's a mix, right? She's a mutt off the street.
I've only seen this dog from that camera right there.
Right. So it's pointing
just
down,
maybe behind you. Yeah.
So she's got really. I'll post a picture of her in both of them in my Discord in the fur babies room. But yeah, she's got really stubby legs, so it makes her look a lot smaller than she actually is.
Fair. It happens. Fair.
But yeah, so we're other than that, my week so far has been fine. You know, I got a video to do for you. That'll be fun. We're getting some videos out on the channel.
Got 2 done last night, man.
Yeah, man.
God, I'm pumped I did that. So excited I got that done.
But it should be a shock to nobody that right now in the world of Nintendo, let's just say the world of gaming really, but Nintendo especially at the moment, there is nothing happening. And this podcast is not a news podcast. We do cover the trending topics just to try to reach a bigger audience every week. But we're not a news podcast, but there is nothing newsworthy, for lack of a better term,
literally nothing
to talk about. There's just nothing. So Drip and I have created a little bit of a grab bag of ideas the past few months, and we haven't dipped in yet. But tonight is going to be our first night where we dip into a little grab bag. So this will be a little grab bag episode for you. And Drip,
we should just start calling it. I like that.
Yeah.
The grab bag episode.
Drip, what are we talking about tonight?
Well, Geeb, we're going to talk about the history of Nintendo. We're going to talk about the consoles they've made, the changes they've made, the things that we've seen them do and continue to do as they move forward, and what that could mean for their next console, the Switch 2. Presumably, the Switch 2 coming out the beginning of next year, from what we know. Maybe announced sometime in the next 4 months.
Who
I think
knows?
It's a good time to talk about it, though. I think it's a very good time to really start deep diving into this, because we've done a bunch of the Switch 2 speculation bullshit. We've been doing it, I mean, I don't know, 2 years now? We've been doing it for a while longer than that.
Breaking news, Drip. I have my first video that I made my channel public was a Switch 2, the last Switch 2 video you'll ever need to watch. And that was over 3 years ago. Well, actually, about 3 years ago, and that was only me.
Really?
Yeah. It was 2021, dude. It was
early. Yeah, well, I mean, I've made.
It was early 2021.
It doesn't matter. Regardless, I think we're actually in the area now where it's like it's okay to talk about this now. This is happening, and there's a lot of cool stuff. We know some stuff that's possibly going on with the storage, which I think is very interesting. I know we're going to get into that, but I do want to get into, before we get into the Switch 2 part of it, I do kind of want to just take a little stroll down memory lane. Look at some of this stuff and kind of just see the similarities and things, the way that they work, because you can see it. I mean, they keep bringing stuff with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you start at the beginning, like they have the thing, and then they take that thing and they do something else with it, but they bring that little piece along. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then they'll do something else, and then they'll innovate and do something different, but they bring a little piece along. You know what I mean? It's always like that. And I think another thing that gets lost in all of this, and it still continues to happen to this day, and you know, we get called Nintendrones, this, that, whatever. But I mean, I'm sorry, not even being a fanboy, whatever. PlayStation, Microsoft, Sony, whatever, whoever you're talking about, they take what Nintendo does. Now they do it later, they do it better usually. But Nintendo's the one that's innovating all this stuff. And it's happened almost every single console generation since what? The Super Nintendo?
The Super Nintendo.
The NES?
Honestly, I mean, like, I didn't have this written down, but we could even start at the Game & Watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like with the D-pad. They innovated with the D-pad, man. Before D-pads, you only had like joysticks. And actually, Drip, let's just start there because I brought it up. Let's just start there. We're going back in time. As one of my favorite podcasts, Stuff You Should Know, they call it the Wayback Machine. Let's go in the Wayback Machine real fast, and let's go back to the time where the Game & Watch came out. And obviously, like I just said, as far as like innovations, what they were doing, it was a handheld console, right? But it was the D-pad is specifically what we're talking about here. The D-pad
they had other versions of it too that didn't have D-pads and buttons, whatever.
Right.
But yeah, the D-pad was the thing. That's when it happened. Yeah.
Right. So I mean, the Nintendo invented the D-pad. If you didn't know that, they invented the D-pad. Before that,
they had a patent on it for a long time.
Yeah.
They still might. Like the actual the shape of the D-pad.
Mm-hmm.
I know they had a patent on it for a while. Like even when Sony. When the PlayStation tried to come out with a D-pad style, they weren't allowed to use that shape.
That's why we ended up with the one.
That's why they had to go with this, the 4 little buttons, basically. I mean, it's not basically a D-pad, but it's not.
It is a D-pad. If you open that up, it's just a weird looking D-pad. It still operates.
They just weren't allowed.
It's not 4 buttons, but yeah.
Right. They weren't allowed to use the shape.
Right.
So. I mean, they protected themselves back then, at least.
Right. So anyway, that's not where I was going to start really on the NES, and let's go ahead and start with that because the NES, believe it or not, at least in my opinion here, had a couple gimmicks, right? The first gimmick would be the name itself. If you didn't really know, the NES stands for Nintendo Entertainment System. Notice it doesn't stand for Nintendo Gaming Entertainment System. It's specifically and on purpose the Nintendo Entertainment System. And that was because in the U.S. market back when the NES came out, American households and families, specifically the older people buying the console, they obviously gaming is for kids back then, right? So there was parents buying the console. They looked down at gaming and they thought, and parents for the longest time did not want their kids playing games.
It's a devil, man.
It's good old American traditions. They did not like gaming. So Nintendo tried to frame it as an entertainment system, not a gaming console. So the family could enjoy. Hence the Famicom, which is what the name was in Japan. And if you didn't notice, and Europe. And if you didn't notice, the NES looks a lot like something us old people would know, and that would be a VHS player. And that is definitely intentional because they wanted it to fit in with the home entertainment vibe. And back in the day, you had your TV. You might have had a cable box. In fact, this is probably time before the cable box. You had a TV with rabbit ears, and then you had a VHS if you were rich, basically. Not everyone had VHS at the start, but they wanted it to fit in, so it looked like a VHS, and you entered a game just like a VHS strip.
Yeah, it was. It was basically the same thing, and kind of the same thing. When you put a VHS, and at least it took it in itself and pushed it down where it was supposed to be.
Right.
And with the Nintendo, you were trying to push it in and pull it back out because it wasn't working and blowing in it and hitting it and trying to do all kinds of stupid shit. It didn't work that well. It got messed up very easy. But I mean, the next thing they did, Super Nintendo, obviously more power. We know that. But then they doubled the face buttons. We didn't just have A and B anymore. We had A, B, X, and Y. Everybody else did the same thing. Oh, more buttons, yeah. And shoulder buttons too. Shoulder buttons.
That's right. The NES had introduced the shoulder buttons, and they introduced 4 face buttons. Were they the first one to do both of those? I don't know. I don't think so.
I do believe so. Yeah.
Were they?
Well, I mean, yeah. Nobody had shoulder buttons.
Okay. I'm not positive.
Sega may have had the 3-button controller. I don't know if they had the 6-button controller yet.
Here we go, Drip in the chat. Thank you for 15% lets us know that Genesis had 6 buttons first. But technically, though,
did they have the 6-button one first? That's what I'm wondering.
But technically, that does mean that Nintendo still was the first to have 4. So maybe Genesis had 6, but Nintendo had 4, which is the one that ended up working out and that won the console war, so to speak. So I don't know. Genesis is not even a thing, let alone 6 buttons anymore. I'm going to call that a wash, but yeah, that's a good point to bring up for sure. Genesis definitely had more buttons first, so we can give the point to Genesis there if you really want. We're not giving points here. This is not like a Nintendo pat in the back episode. This is all leading to a place with the Switch 2, and we'll get there in a second.
So the next thing is they kept those more face buttons. They kept adding more face buttons. They kept doing that. That went crazy. They kept the shoulder buttons. They actually added more. The Z button on the back of the 64 controller.
That's right.
I mean, obviously we know what a weird shape that thing was. That was a full departure from what they were doing with their other controllers.
That's right. The N64 controller itself is a gimmick. I mean, it's got 3 handles.
Oh, yeah.
It's so weird. So kind of, the design is iconic to this day. Not the best design, but it was iconic.
It is the best design. You are too young to appreciate it, Geeb. I'm sorry. You weren't there. You weren't there. You weren't old enough to. You weren't old enough to appreciate it.
You're wrong.
How about that?
You're wrong, because I played a lot of N64 as a kid. But you can be wrong. It's fine. Don't worry. It's fine. I'll let you be wrong. It's a bad design, and everybody who's played one knows that. And if you're saying otherwise, you're lying. I played it a bunch as a kid. I have so many memories of playing N64. Now, did I play it on release day like you old folks? No, but I had it as a kid, and not me in my house, but my friends had it. I'd go over to their house and play it. It was a lot of fun. Not the points. We're not playing points here.
Whatever. It's a great design.
But Nintendo, let's get to the point, Drip. Stop derailing us with your nonsense.
The point is, they keep bringing the stuff. They keep innovating. Analog. They take the stuff that they've innovated. They bring it over. They do more. Again, like you just said, analog. We got an analog stick.
Yeah.
And what did PlayStation do after that?
Not 1, but 2.
But they re-released their controller, their PlayStation controller. They re-released it with 2 sticks.
They did.
Not in a new console, just a new controller for the same console with 2 sticks.
I actually remember, this is something I can vividly remember, because we had a PS1 in my house, and we had the version that came with the D-pad version, not the analog stick one. And I vividly remember when we got some third-party controllers, and they had 2 analog sticks on them. It was like, oh my god, this is weird, but also awesome. So that was actually my first experience with analogs, was the PS1.
Oh, controller. You know what else they had too? It's not even on our little list here, but I just remembered it. Do you remember the Rumble Pack?
For the N64. Now that I was too young to even appreciate it, even if I did have it. I didn't really give a shit.
Oh man,
about that
I remember. I think mine came with when I bought Star Fox 64. I think Star Fox 64 came with a Rumble Pack, if I'm not mistaken. Oh man, that thing was intense. You talk about like
it was big, man.
My God, dude. And the Rumble, and it was like, okay, we get it. We get it. Like, holy cow, this is nuts. Other than that, stick stayed. The GameCube controller was a whole...
Yeah, let's move on to the GameCube here. It's a
whole thing.
Yeah, so there's a lot to with the GameCube. Let's run down real fast and then react, Drip. GameCube button placement was weird. It changed things up and made the big A button, the small B button, and 2 top left X and Y buttons. That was definitely weird. No one ever really did anything like that before. Small discs, so now they've switched to discs, Nintendo did, to try to compete and keep up with what people were going with. And they kind of did their own thing with the small disc, which was interesting. It's but a gimmick nonetheless. It's definitely something you can market. There was a handle on the GameCube for portability. If you didn't know, you could literally, technically, you didn't have a battery in it, but you could take your GameCube with you via your handle that was built in, and take it from your friend's house to like a little LAN party situation.
I mean, how many motherfuckers you see walking down the street with a GameCube?
I don't know, man. I bet that was a big thing with 13-year-olds back in the day. I bet.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was. I don't know. I never saw that. But
listen, if that was a thing, if that was a thing in my era, I would have absolutely been that dumbass carrying my GameCube down the street to my friend's house. But I was playing Xbox at that point. I was not.
Did you bring the cables, man? Nah, I didn't bring the cables.
We were doing Xbox,
bring the GameCube.
Together, and not the GameCube. But they also Drip. Now, I didn't do any research recently, but I do remember. Did it actually come out, or did it never? I know the second thing on the list, the 3D thing, we'll get to in a second. That never came out. Excuse me, but the top thing, did the GameCube actually receive an official release of a screen attachment? I think it did.
But that was the thing. I had moved away from Nintendo of those years of my life. I didn't care about the game. I was like, man.
Well, whether or not
babies.
Whether or not it actually came out or not, I do know that it was in development, and I don't know if it actually came out. But there was a screen you could put onto your GameCube to add to that portability aspect to it. And also Nintendo, by the way, before the 3DS was ever a thing, Nintendo was working on 3D for the GameCube for that screen. That I do know. So
that's nuts.
That was the thing. And there's a video you can watch if you Google it. I did the research a while ago on this, but I was just this off the top of my dome here. But yeah, there's a thing you can watch Nintendo revealing this 3D screen thing, and it's really kind of crazy. But anyway, we move on to the Wii.
I didn't even know that, man. That's wild.
It is wild. We move on to the Wii. The Wii didn't have a lot of gimmicks except for the biggest gimmick of all of them.
Literally ever in gaming.
Yeah, that to this day is still being used in a positive manner. Motion control, obviously, is what we're talking about here. The Wii had motion control, and motion control is used in most in PlayStation and PlayStation PC and Switch to this day. So I mean,
well, and it's coming all that stuff in those Microsoft leaks. We saw their controller that they're supposedly putting out sometime this year. Yeah, finally has adopted motion control as well. But that started with the Wii. Yeah, it was Nintendo.
Yeah, and I guess a little side note: the Wii also had really good backwards compatibility support for a while. The first edition had the GameCube ports you could plug your own controller in. That was really cool. It also, you were able to put in your GameCube discs up until a certain point. They eventually stopped the backwards compatibility with the revisions of the Wii. But the first one had GameCube ports and support for the actual games themselves. So backwards compatibility is kind of a gimmick of the Wii as well, if you want to look at it like that.
But I want to kind of go back to, I know this isn't like the point of this conversation, but again, this is where everyone else really started to be like, okay, let's just like Nintendo's got something here. The Wii was obviously a huge success. PlayStation did their whatever those things were. With the VR, they ended up being the VR headsets controllers after it bombed on what they initially tried to do. What were those things called? They had those little like glowing red and blue balls on top. They were like wands. I don't even know what they were, but they were trying to do the same thing that the Wii was doing with the motion control.
Yeah.
They saw that. They wanted a piece of that. It failed miserably. Xbox did, what was it? The Kinect, the camera thing with motion controls, failed miserably. Nobody could really get the motion control thing quite like the Wii PlayStation Move. Thank you. That's what it was called.
There you go. Thanks, Walmart.
Failed. They ended up using it as the controllers for the PlayStation VR. So at least it had some life after that. And then we got the Wii U.
I'm sorry, Drip. One more. I didn't even add. Dude, I forgot about the Wii U altogether. I didn't put it in the list at all.
But I mean, it's easy to forget.
It is forgettable. I'm looking at it right now on my screen. It's behind me. No, actually, Megaboy, real fast. Megaboy brought up a really good point. The GameCube also had one more gimmick up its sleeve that we didn't mention. The Wavebird controller, wireless controllers. I don't know if they were things. Yeah, they weren't the first. I don't think the Wavebird was the first, but the Wavebird was excellent in its time.
That was the Cadillac of wireless controllers. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
just for the time.
Yeah, we'll shout out the Wavebird controller because that's a really popular one to this day. They're still designing controllers based off that design today. Shout out Nixie. So yeah. Moving on, Drip, the Wii U, which I didn't even list, but yeah, there you go. Moving on to the Wii U, Drip. The Wii U didn't have any. I don't have any written, but obviously
the Wii U was just before its time. Okay, we were not ready for the Wii U.
We weren't ready, Drip. We were so not ready that we didn't even add it to the list.
Ready for the Wii U because they didn't even know how to fucking explain what it was.
They didn't have any games out when it came out either. I mean, they literally weren't ready.
Literally wasn't ready. They were not ready. They didn't know how to explain it. The marketing was terrible. It flopped, but. It is
the concept is awesome.
The concept's great, but it's basically a Switch concept. It just works differently. You know what I mean?
Correct.
You can see what they wanted to do. The technology wasn't there. They tried to do this dual screen thing, and they were kind of doing it in handhelds too. I mean, obviously they were with the DS, the 3DS, the 2DS, all that, two screens. It worked sort of similar to that. I mean, you know, depending on what game you're playing, there were some things that they showed. They showed so many things that the Wii U was supposed to do early.
It just really didn't
do. Half the fucking games never even came out. None. Like they showed all this crazy stuff at E3 when they first announced this thing. Half that stuff never even came to the system. They announced so many different third-party, whatever, all this stuff where we're gonna have all these games and all these people, and it flopped. Because everybody thought it was a controller for the Wii.
Right.
Nobody knew what the fuck it was, so nobody bought it.
I will say this, though, Drip, regarding where we're taking this conversation with the Switch 2, the Wii U is actually really important in this conversation.
Very.
So we're going to keep that in the back burner because I didn't write it down. I forgot about it, but let's not forget about it again. Let's move on now to the Switch. Obviously, the Switch is a hybrid console. It's the biggest gimmick of it all. But I would say it's one of the best gimmicks that they've done because it's one of you can make an argument for this, but it's one of the only gimmicks of all the gimmicks they've ever done that literally that like 100% of people will use at some point and enjoy. Like, not everybody needed small.
It's a gimmick. It's a gimmick that's not gimmicky,
right?
If that makes any sense.
It's why it's so successful.
Actually serves a real purpose, and it's the first time we've seen it done like this. And actually,
you put it way better than I did. Thanks, Drip.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry. Thank you.
The hybrid system. It's something even younger. I'd play the 3DS, and I'd be like, God, I just want.
We've always wanted
games.
We've always wanted it.
Yeah, I want those games on this thing. I just wanted to play the same games. Why can't this play those games? And Nintendo finally did it. They finally did it. They gave me what I wanted the entire time, was just let me play handheld, but a full console experience. And they nailed it.
Technically, Drip, though, I'm not, maybe just your wording was a little bit off, but technically the 3DS accomplished that because they had this, it wasn't the same copy of the game, but it was the same game on the 3DS and you could play in your Wii U. For example, Hyrule Warriors had its own version. Right. But I'm saying on a technicality, it's already done.
One-to-one versions.
No. And what I was going to say is when I was a kid, what I wanted was the exact game. I wanted to play the exact game, the same copy of the same game in my hand, and I wanted to throw it on the TV because I was not a handheld gamer as a kid. Although that's what I only really had. I had a Game Boy Advance. I didn't play it a whole lot because I didn't like it that much. Probably because throughout my life I've had uncomfortable hands while gaming. That's always been a problem for me. Is like being comfortable while gaming.
My hands are uncomfortable while gaming.
Shut the fuck up. But no, so like it's always been a problem for me, and I didn't really realize until later in life that like, oh yeah, I don't play games a lot because my hands get cramped. So like certain controllers make me game for longer. And as far as when you had a game that only was available for this handheld console that wasn't comfortable, it was hard for me to game. But now, and that's what I wanted. I wanted a game that could play in my hand, but like on occasion for a few minutes, but then pop it into TV, and like that's what the Switch delivered it. And it took me a few years to get on board. It took me about 3 years after the Switch came out. But finally, I was like, you know what? I need to pull the trigger on this and change my life in many ways.
I want to fast forward before we really get into like what we're actually going to be talking about, like what the Switch 2 is going to have. I kind of want to set this up a little bit more than we have, just of where we're at right now. Because when the Switch came out in 2017, most of us know, there was no competition. There wasn't another handheld like the Switch at that time. You know what I mean? There wasn't the ROG Allies and the Steam Decks and everything else we have now, because there's a ton of in the last, what is it, 7 years? 7 years now?
7 years.
There have been a lot of handheld hybrid style systems to come out, and a lot of them are fucking nice, like really nice. The Steam Deck, I mean, awesome. It puts the Switch to shame as far as power. I mean, as far as
comfortability, man, it's so comfortable.
Comfortability, yeah. I mean, the Joy-Cons are not comfortable. I don't play.
It's bigger, it's heavier, but somehow it's easier to play in handheld mode.
Oh yeah, because there's something that's substantial in your hands. It's something to hold on to.
They gave you something
to
hold on to.
Like a Cadillac.
Yeah.
But so things have changed. Nintendo has a lot that they're going to have to put into this Switch 2 to make this a viable thing when it comes out, because there's a chance that this thing could come out and they could fuck this all up just like they did with the Wii U. And you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
A big problem I think with the Wii U is something they did was they put way too much stupid shit in the Wii U. Like, oh, it's a TV remote. It's this. It's that. It does this. It does that. And everyone's like, hold the fuck on.
I just want to play my games.
It's a controller for the Wii? They're like, no. It's not a controller for the Wii. It's the Wii U. It's also a TV remote. It's got this. It's got that. You can play it just handheld. You don't even have to use the Wii U. You mean the Wii? It hooks up to the Wii? No.
Because let's not forget the Wii U console itself, not the tablet, but the console looks an awful lot like a Wii.
Oh yeah, and in the initial marketing, they didn't even show the damn thing.
A white slab. Yeah, that's a good point, Drip. They never even showed it in the marketing, which is a big reason why it was confusing.
It was in the background on a screen, and it was blurry. they showed the controller only.
Once we finally saw the console, though, it's like it even looks like the Wii.
Yeah, it looked like a black Wii instead
it's
of a
like,
white
oh, it's got rounded
Wii.
corners.
Yeah.
It must be just like a new version of the Wii, and all these accessories will probably go backwards compatible with the Wii. And it's like, no, it's not at all what it is.
That's what it was too. Everything was called like the Wiimote.
Because in the commercials drip, the Wii U was using Wii nunchucks for a lot of things.
Yeah, well, that too. But
because it's not backwards.
The
nunchucks were not just backwards compatible; they were a feature of the console that they brought over. It shipped with a light bar. I thought. Did it not?
I don't know if it shipped the light bar.
Did it? I think it has the port on the back. I mean, that at least
it does have a port on the back. Yeah.
It's supposed to be plugged in. It's not natively.
I mean, they made everything with the Wii completely compatible with the Wii U.
I mean, we could do a whole show drip
tablet. Yeah.
I mean, maybe next
use a Wiimote as and the golf ball's on the screen on the ground.
Right.
It looks like a fucking controller.
Maybe next week, if we're still light on the content, we'll just do a whole episode on the failure of the Wii U. That'll be the thumbnail.
We're gonna do it,
G.
We're gonna do it tomorrow
on the
for our members podcast. So if you want to hear that, you can become a member. All you gotta do is click the button right down there.
The failure.
You can become a member. You can get extra podcasts every month from us. We do an extra podcast every single month for members.
I could kiss you right now.
Click that. We will be doing that tomorrow. But let's move on.
Yeah.
The Switch 2 has a lot of shit it's got to get right. A lot of shit.
We actually can't move on. Very briefly, we need to touch because we ignored half of Nintendo's other consoles that they've put out. All the handheld consoles. We need to brief.
Yeah, okay.
Because these are important too.
Run through them briefly because it's important.
There's probably more. I might be missing some here, but again, these are all off the top of my head, right? So the Game Boy Light came out in Japan only. It was a version of the Game Boy Pocket that had a backlight, or actually a front light is what it was. So that was a little gimmick console that came out handheld wise.
Yeah.
Of course, the Game Boy Micro came out.
Game Boy Advanced, Game Boy SP, Game Boy every other thing.
In terms of gimmicks, though, those were not gimmicks. Those were just different variants of the console. But the Game Boy Micro was absolutely a gimmick. It was in a Game Boy Advance, just small. It's literally its only existence was a gimmick.
The Game Boy Advance was the Game Boy Advance SP. It's a clamshell.
I wouldn't say that's a gimmick, though. I guess you're kind of right. It was a little bit of a gimmick.
It's a gimmick.
It's a little bit of a gimmick. It's improved design, though. It's less a gimmick, more improved design.
Well, and that led to the 2DS.
Correct.
The
and
3DS.
And moving on to the last things I could think of were the DS, the 2DS, and the 3DS. All three of those will lump together. All different gimmicks. There's many. The DS itself started the whole thing with the clamshell handheld thing, right? Except unless you're giving that credit to the SP, which you could, it's fine. But in this purpose of this conversation, I'll give it to the DS. Really started it. That's its whole shtick. It was double screens clamshell. Then you went to the 3DS was after that, right? Well, actually, there was a bunch
about a gimmick.
There was a bunch of other. There was like the DS Lite and the DS Lite Plus and whatever the fuck. There's a bunch of little ones. But
how did you feel about the 3D on the 3DS?
I actually liked it. I really did. And I had the OG DS. I've never even seen the 3DS, the new 3DS that has an improved 3D. I've never even seen that one. I've only ever used the original one.
It's way better.
Yeah, I like it. I also was the guy in 2010 who encouraged my parents to purchase our family TV was a Sony 3D TV and actually enjoyed the 3D for a little bit there. So I'm that weirdo who I also to this day will go and see 3D movies.
Why? God, that's so
weird. I like 3D movies.
Wait, what does your mom call every gaming system?
The Game Box X.
I will never get sick of that. That's the funniest thing.
Dude, I'm gonna be 30 years old this year, and we're still to this day laughing about that. Okay.
Get off the damn Game Box X, will you? Gabe, get off the Game Box X.
Yeah.
It's time for dinner.
Mom, God, Megaboy. Listen, Megaboy. The Game Boy X, Megaboy says, are we talking gimmicks and not mentioning the Virtual Boy?
Oh no!
Its whole existence was a gimmick.
Virtual Boy.
Yeah.
No. Have you ever played a Virtual Boy?
No, I've never seen one.
Oh my God, dude, they are wild. My neighbor had one, man. It was like the most wild thing you've ever seen. It was so weird when you looked in there. All it was is red.
Yeah,
red lines. It was so weird. It was so weird.
Did you see John Cartwright's video he posted on Good Vibes Gaming recently about if you have a modded 3DS, you can finally play native Well, and you can emulate the Virtual Boy in a really cool way. Nowadays, there's a recent mod that came upon or something. Basically, you can emulate on the modded 3DS the Virtual Boy and its games and play it 3D like a Virtual Boy is meant to be played, but not without the screen in front of your face, obviously, like the Virtual Boy does.
That was the thing that sucked, man. You get in there and you're just like, I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna be sick
in his
everywhere.
video. I recommend you guys go check it out. In his video, it seems like it's an awesome experience. So I recommend checking it out.
One more quick one. Dude's a Monster just brought something else up. The game, the Super Game Boy. It was literally a cartridge you put in.
Oh yeah.
The Super Nintendo.
That's an accessory.
Game
That's
Boy
not a
cartridges
That's
in
an
there and
accessory.
play them on the TV.
Awesome. Good. We should have mentioned it, but it's not a console, so it is just an accessory. But that is really cool. You could play. You basically added a Game Boy to your GameCube, was it
Super Nintendo?
Super Nintendo. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, Drip. Now we move on to the.
Now we move on, Geeb.
To the question.
Now we're here.
The question of the episode, right? The question of the whole episode. The reason we just went down the lineage of Nintendo is for this reason. What is Nintendo planning for the Switch 2 in terms of gimmicks? Because we know from history that every single console at least has a small gimmick, at least, if not multiple gimmicks. So Nintendo is allergic to releasing a normal console. That's why it won't be called the Switch 2, because they're allergic to any sort of logic when it comes to their naming of their consoles. It needs to be different. It has to have a gimmick because they're allergic to anything else. So, Drip, what can we expect from a Switch 2? And we're gonna do multiple versions of this. Are we going? Right. We're gonna do what is realistic, what's not realistic, and what you want.
Okay, I'm gonna go realistic first because I did predict the Direct in February, so I'm a leaker now. We've established that. I am a Nintendo leaker. I have inside information clearly because I know these things. So I can tell you what the next Switch is actually going to be, Geeb, if you want to know. I can tell you right now. I will about it.
I will hear it.
So the next Nintendo Switch is not going to be called a Switch. You're right. It probably won't be called the Switch 2 because they don't do that. But I don't think they're going to abandon. I think we know enough about it now that we know they're not going to abandon the hybrid nature of the system. We are going to get another handheld, probably more powerful, probably got some AI stuff going on in there for upscaling. Yep. You know, we'll talk more about that in a bit. We know that stuff's probably going to be in there. But I think the gimmick, I think they're going to actually stick to this pretty close. But I think what the gimmick is going to be, instead of really just straying away from what they've clearly done extremely well and sold almost more consoles than anybody on the planet, I think they're just going to add another way to Switch.
Yeah, that makes the most sense.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is yet. Right now we have handheld, docked, tabletop.
Did you hear that recent leak? I'm feeding off what you're talking about. Did you hear that recent leak? The Switch Attach. Well, leak. It's not a leak, man. It's stupid. The Switch Attach. Have you heard about that?
No.
So there's a photo going around the internet. There's a Google survey going around. They frequently put out surveys, and I think it was on YouTube actually. And one of the surveys that pulled up was about console generations. I don't remember the exact question of the survey, but their answers were the Xbox Series or whatever, the PlayStation 5, and the Nintendo Switch Attach.
Oh, yeah. Didn't PowerMad put that in the Discord
I think he
at some
did.
point?
I think he did.
I was looking through there today. I thought I saw something about that.
Now, I'm not saying I want this to happen, and I bet you it was just some sort of error, or I don't think it's actually a leak. I think it's just bullshit. However, it's interesting to think that maybe in some weird way, the next way the next Switch switches is by some sort of attaching thing, and maybe the loose translation that they got from Japanese was attached, and that's how we ended up with this leak, if you will. That's a real big stretch. I'm saying it, not believing what I'm saying, but the point is it's going off your logic here.
It's going here, and Full Metal Knee and the chat also says VR headset attach. And let's think that's a very, especially if you've got more power in a Switch 2 and you're running it through some AI upscaling stuff, and you can really do some very close eye stuff. things to make VR possible, that could be the other way to switch. We saw them mess with that in Breath of the Wild has a VR mode.
Yes.
Smash Brothers has a VR mode. And what's the other one?
Odyssey?
Odyssey. Odyssey has a VR mode. I think there's another one too. Could you imagine Mario Kart in VR?
It'd be fun, but I've recently learned, I didn't know this because I didn't have the Labo. But apparently, I'm sure a lot of you know, but this is news to me. You had to hold it to your face. There was no strap on the Labo.
Oh yeah, it was like the elephant trunk thing.
Yeah.
You had to hold it there. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, you can't play games.
No, you can't. You're very busy, holding it to your face.
You can't play. It's a VR headset.
This looks so
for
cool.
gaming that you can't play the game.
No, we can't. Wait, you move. Take the controller.
I can't
see where I'm going.
I've seen the images before. I've seen it on the internet, and I never put together that. Oh yeah, you're holding it to your face. Therefore, there's no way to hold the Joy-Con to actually play the game. Which it's just, I mean, dude, think about this. They could have designed it to
where just tape it to your head.
But think about this. They could have designed the Labo in a way, the VR headset for Labo, where the Switch and the Joy-Cons were all, you held the up to your face with the Joy-Con.
Like
and it'd be super duper weird.
How uncomfortable would that be?
It's already uncomfortable, man. The Joy-Cons stink without a grip on them.
Let's make a shitty thing even shittier.
No, but at least you could play the game. Why would you put that out like that?
That's fair. Okay, so maybe that's the other way to
You
switch.
still got to hold it to your face, but at least you're holding it with functionality. I mean, come on.
I mean, I don't really have...
What are you going to do? Take out your you-know-what and just play with that? How are you supposed to play the games, man? Like, and what do females do at that point? I mean, come on, man.
Jesus. Okay. Anyway.
This is not a podcast for children.
Let's go to some other stuff here. Realistic. New Joy-Cons. I don't even know, honestly. We'll talk about the crazy stuff that could happen with that.
I'm putting myself in timeout.
I feel like
I'm putting myself in timeout. I'm just gonna.
Okay. Well,
I'm just gonna leave the screen.
Okay. I feel like the Joy-Cons. That's up in the air. I think it's a very big missed opportunity that Nintendo did not make any other Joy-Cons. All we have are different colors of the same exact thing, while third-party companies have made basically every other thing we asked for and all the weird stuff that we thought Nintendo was going to make. That was the cool thing when the Switch was announced too, because we were like, oh man, like
no,
there's going to be
I'm still waiting.
This and that.
I'm still waiting for the NES controllers that are dysfunctional and sideways on the side of the Switch. I need Joy-Con that I can't play with. That's what I need. I'm still waiting for. Oh wait, I'm not waiting for it. Nintendo put that out.
Yeah, they did put that out.
That's the only thing they put out.
But I mean, we've got GameCube. We've got GameCube Joy-Cons. We literally have had other companies make GameCube controllers, cut them in half, and make them into Joy-Cons. Several.
And they work well.
And we've got, and look, God, I just got these. I just did a video. You know this. Just did a video on these ones from Binbach. And let me tell you something. These might be the most comfortable Joy-Cons I have ever used in my life. They are.
Really?
They are amazing, man. They're so good. Nintendo gives us one shape.
And it's the worst. And it's the worst shape.
And it's the worst shape. Yeah. Everybody else, every other company has been trying to make the Switch holdable for 7 years. And Nintendo's like, oh, we got new colors though.
I will actually argue against Hari for being the worst shape. I know there's a lot of Hari split pad fans out there, and I'm not. You can enjoy. I'm not saying you can't enjoy your product. For my hands, the way I hold a Switch, the Hari split pad is the worst Joy-Con because there's a point on the end of, and it literally the way I hold it. I know I accept that I'm weird, but the way I hold it, it digs directly into my hand. All of that, at least the Joy-Con is smooth. Right around the edge. This thing has a freaking point. But anyway.
Yeah, these don't. These are great, man.
Yeah.
These are so good. These are really good. I can't wait for that video. Video's coming out Friday, by the way.
Indeed.
I don't know about those. I mean, I don't know. That's up in the air. New Pro controller?
Yeah. Well, hold on, Drew. I'm going to address this first because it's in the thumbnail. That weird looking Switch I put in the thumbnail. Let's just talk about that real fast. So if you're on audio side and haven't seen the thumbnail, go check out the YouTube channel. It's there. Also, we post it to our socials. You can check out the thumbnail there as well. But we put it's basically the Switch 2 has dual screens like a 3DS. It's a clamshell design. Which drip would really help me out and make me a credible leaker, because I leaked that console. How many years ago? Was it 2 years ago now? 2 years ago? I said the Wii U, the Switch U Deluxe Plus was going to come out.
And I said we have to call it the U2.
Or actually, I don't think it was 2 years ago. I actually think, well, my idea was like 2 years ago, but the actual video we put out was last year.
The Wii U2.
The Wii U2.
It's a beautiful day.
It's a beautiful day.
It's a beautiful day.
Anyway, my whole idea of like the Switch 2 taking up what was good about the Wii U and introducing it in a non-sucky way with good marketing would really be backed up by the fact that the next Switch console has dual screens, so you can take that experience from the TV with you on the go with the dual screen. So that's my unrealistic one, Drip. That would be really fun. I would love that. I think it'd be kind of big and heavy and annoying and realistically not the best one, but it would be super fun to have a clamshell Switch.
Yeah, it would. I don't know.
I miss having menus in my hands.
Talk about?
I thought that was cool. But go ahead, you can talk about what you.
Can I talk about the things I'm not allowed to talk about anymore? It's past February.
I will give you a mulligan.
Okay, just once, because you're talking about dual screens. Those 2 Zelda games that I want on the Switch so bad were made for a console that has 2 screens. So if the new Switch has 2 screens, maybe that's why they're like, we'll just wait. We'll just wait and put them out on the one with 2 screens since they're already made for 2 screens. Okay, I'm done. I won't say anything else about it. Something before we get into this other stuff though, I want to talk about the storage. I really want to get into that so we can just kind of because this is something I think that is actually happening. I know it's a rumor, but there's some credible shit to this, and I think this is something. I don't think a lot of people are talking about this, and I think it's very interesting. But it looks like the newer Switch 2 games, whatever they are going to have to be stored if they're not on the internal storage. And I want to talk about what the internal storage might be as well. But they're going to have to be stored on a special SD card, something that reads, writes, transfers faster. And Samsung just happened to make one of those, Geeb. They have one. It is releasing later this year.
Why would the Switch 2 why would you need this faster storage? Would it be because a very similar experience that's happening right now with the PS5 and Xbox Series consoles, where you're able to store games. You can store your games on external drives that aren't super fast, but if you want to play them with with all the real next gen features, if you will, you have to store. It has to be played off of the internal drive.
Okay.
Itself.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go into that because I think I've got this all figured out how they're gonna run this shit. So the thing is, it's called it's a new micro SD card, but it's called the SD Express.
Okay.
So I told you I've got some pretty fast micro SD cards for my camera and stuff that read like 300 megabits per second,
right?
400 megabits per second. These are gonna read and write at up to 800 megabytes per second.
My math is not great, but that's at least 4 times faster than like a good one you can get right now.
Yeah, I mean it's over double the speed of the good ones that I use for my camera.
Right.
It's very fast, and you've got to think about the other storage that's going on in these other consoles. SSDs, obviously, solid state drives are way faster. You can't. I mean, I guess you could put a solid state drive in a handheld, but and they do, but the
Steam Deck has one.
Nintendo, yeah, but Nintendo, they don't want it big. They don't want it. They're trying to make things small. So this might be the solution for expandable storage with that. And there was actually something that Samsung said, which kind of cements this for me, that they announced a collaboration with a customer to create a custom product. So they are specifically making these SD cards for a customer, for somebody.
Nintendo.
I mean, my guess is that's Nintendo and their storage for their new Switch, because they need it faster. The games are going to be bigger. We know this thing's going to have more power. It's going to be running bigger games. You're not going to be able to just run them off of a regular SD card.
Let's say this too, Drip. With that, the next console, without even needing to be said, with the faster storage and everything, it also is going to need faster Wi-Fi.
Oh yeah.
Read and write speeds, because
absolutely.
If you're gonna, most people are probably not gonna buy. Most people are not gonna buy this new SD card. They'll probably just use a regular one that should be backwards compatible. But you just won't be able to play your game off it. You'll have to play the same game that Xbox and PS5 people do. We're switched back and forth. And if you're gonna do that, and a lot of times you're gonna have to use the internet for that, you need something that's going to be able to download these games fast for you, so it's not taking absolutely forever to get it on your system, transferring files back and forth from the SD card to your drive. It's going to have to be super fast. Like, they got to update that shit.
Right. Okay. And then a lot of people are like, okay, well then what are they going to use for the internal storage? What are they going to use? So it seems like it's possible that Samsung has this other thing. It is called USF 4.0.
Okay, tell me about it.
Now that's what they use in Samsung phones. Okay.
Okay.
That's the internal storage for mobile phones right now, and it can, it's fast. It's super fast. It's kind of going to go hand in hand with these fast cards. So instead of using an SSD, it looks like they might be using this USF 4.0 as the internal storage for the Switch. So you're going to be able to get the maybe 256 gigabytes. Internal, not the 64, the bullshit we have now, 32 gigabytes, which is absolutely unusable. I mean, obviously, that's not going to be what we want. But if this is it, if this USF 4.0 thing is what they do the storage with, you're going to be able to store your games that you need to play, and it's going to end up being this Xbox Series S, X situation, PS5, where you can play older Switch games off of a regular SD card if you have that. If you don't have the new version.
It doesn't matter where those old games are stored. It matters.
Yeah, they'll be fine. Yeah. And then you can store the new ones on the system. But if you have both, if you have the Express SD and this, then you've just got expanded storage for everything, which is the same way it works with the new consoles now. But I mean, this would be something, I think this is true. I mean, obviously I don't know for sure, but it makes so much sense that this is the way they would do it. Because it's fast speeds, super fast speeds, and it takes it's low power consumption. That's the big thing. That's what I was trying to say about the SSDs and doing all that other stuff. This is a way to have absolute low power consumption. That's why they use them in phones, because they are such low. They don't drive that, they don't pull that much power. That's the thing. So all this makes sense. It could all be wrong. Could be bullshit, but I mean, I like it. I hope that's what they do. It would really go hand in hand with everything else we've heard about not only bigger, better games on this system, all the AI stuff that we're going to be seeing. I mean, there's going to be a lot that's pulling power from this system, and they have to find ways to cut it down in other places, and I feel like this is one of them.
So now, let's recap real fast here. The features that the whole reason we spent a lot of time there going over the past Nintendo consoles. Some realistic features that could come directly from past consoles are a feature like the clamshell design.
It could.
It could happen. It really could. It's really not impossible for it to happen.
It's not.
A smaller device like Game Boy Micro, Switch Lite. We could get two versions where we could get something small.
I think we'll get a light. I think we'll get a light version of whatever this thing is.
Yeah.
Halfway through the life cycle, 2 years, 3 years in anyway. I think that's a given.
Obviously, there'll be there will be the same gimmies that the Switch has. The switching ability itself will be present. And you could pull some other stuff as well from old stuff. And as far as some stuff that wasn't really a factor back in the old days where Nintendo was dropping consoles, like we just talked about, data transfer speeds with hardware, that was not a factor back then because you're playing the games off the cartridges, not the internal memory. Because most of the systems didn't have really
in the
a lot
Switch.
of internal memory. Wi-Fi is something that it's recent history was important, but right now especially, the Switch is so behind as it is right now with Wi-Fi.
It's so bad, dude. What did you tell me it was the other day when we were on the phone?
It's pretty much capped. If I on both of my speeds are a lot faster, way faster than this, but I've noticed the Switch will cap you at 15 down or up. No matter 15 megabytes
insane.
Down or up. Like I'm capable of like I don't like the math is hard, but
I'm capable of 1,000.
Of 1,000 down and up, and it's only giving you 15 at capping it at that.
I know.
So
yeah, that's nuts.
The Switch,
man.
it's got to be you got to have more data speed. That's a given. But it must happen. What was the other thing? I was about to say something else too.
Stuff's changed a lot from now since 2017. I mean, and you got to remember this too. A lot of the tech in the Switch isn't 2017 tech. It's like 2015.
It's older. That's why they were able to keep the cost down. That's why the Switch is pretty cheap at launch, because they take older tech and put it into their new stuff. But yeah,
it's like the Bluetooth in my 2015 Pilot. Like, it's so far behind what's actually like if you have like a YouTube video playing and it's coming through the speakers in the car, it's like 3 seconds off. It's like, oh, I can't watch this. I'm gonna die.
My 2014 Dodge Dart. It's the same way. Also, oh my God, if you've ever used the Uconnect services from Dodge,
I've not.
Oh, good Lord. Oh, good
bad,
Lord.
huh?
Oh my God. There's like a whole voice system to control certain things like pairing. There is no button in my car to pair a device. You must use the voice commands. And if you didn't know, car tech is always behind regardless. So in 2014, the Bluetooth voice assistant was so bad. And they lock features away with the voice assistant. Like if I want to pair a new phone or anybody's phone, I gotta press the button. And it's not like it's not like I can say enter Bluetooth pairing mode. I have to say the exact phrase that it wants. And not only that, but it doesn't understand what I'm saying. So, and I can't remember half the time what the phrase even is. I'm done complaining about that.
I got it. I got it. It's
I had to vent about that. I've never told anybody about that.
The Switch is old. They're going to have to upgrade a lot of this stuff. I think these are things that are like a given. These are things that they absolutely have to get with the times on. And even more so now because, again, back then they didn't have any competition. Now they've got a bunch. You look at stuff like the Steam Deck, it's like you said, it's got an SSD in it.
Yeah, a
and
computer
you can open it up
SSD.
and change it out.
Yeah.
It's got real shit.
Yeah.
I mean, backwards compatible, gotta be. I mean, I don't even know about a new Pro Controller. I feel like the Pro Controller they have now is like, it's pretty damn good. Maybe a little bit of a redesign.
I think what they need to do is what Xbox did with Xbox One to Xbox Series. The controller barely changed.
Yeah,
but they refined everything. Everything is nicer about it. So that's what they need to do. Nintendo needs to make it not cheap crap. Now, I love my Pro Controllers, but let's be honest here. There are seams all over it. It's not the best quality controller, and it's a bit expensive.
Pretty nice, though.
It's nice for what it is, but if you go hold a PS5 controller, it's like, that's what $80 is supposed to get me. Not not your $300 privileged man controller.
Whatever. Whatever. God damn it. Sorry. Jesus. This.
I have 2 of my privileged man controllers that I got for free.
Fuck you.
Come and get it.
Yeah, that's right. No, but I think everyone can agree that the quality could improve, especially for $80. Listen, like 8-Bit Dode, a lot of these companies, third-party companies, are making better
really nice stuff.
Better quality
very
than
nice stuff.
Nintendo in certain ways. So anyway, they can do that. Before we wrap it up, let's talk about game gimmicks, because that's always fun.
You know the one I want to talk about. The one I talked to you about earlier today.
Well, let's just start with that one. Feel free.
Okay. And obviously everybody probably thinks they know, but you don't. You don't know. You don't know what I'm going to say. You think I'm going to talk about Zelda, but I'm not. I'm actually going to talk about Mario.
Ooh.
Because everybody has been hung up on this thing like we're getting an Odyssey 2. But I don't think that's happening now. I don't think Odyssey 2. I think Odyssey was its own thing. It will sit there as Mario Odyssey with Cappy, and we won't see that in the next game. And I feel like, again, we go back to console history. NES, we had Mario 1, 2, 3 sequels. Cool.
Yep.
Super Nintendo, we had Super Mario World, and I think the Yoshi, whatever the hell that game was called, was like the sequel to that. Okay?
Yeah.
One system.
Yeah.
One system. Then we went to GameCube, what we have? Sunshine. That was it, right?
Mhm.
One game. We had Galaxy and Galaxy 2 on the same system. Wii U. I don't think we had a new Mario game for the Wii U.
Super Mario Maker,
3D.
if you want to count that.
Yeah, okay, but then they had Mario 3D
Land or 3D Mario 3D World.
Yeah, 3D World, but that
Super Mario 3D
that wasn't
World.
really like a mainline 3D Mario.
No, but it's the best one. Hot take.
It's a good.
GB said it. GB said it. No, okay, it's not the best one. It's my favorite one though. It's my favorite.
It's good.
Yeah,
it's good. It's not the best one. Anyway, so then we go to the Switch, Odyssey, and everyone's like, okay, no DLC for Mario Odyssey. We're clearly getting a 2. We're at the end. Because I can tell you this right now, in the little time we have left, knowing what we've seen from Nintendo already and the games that they have announced and just the bullshit that they're trickling out right now because it's the end of the life cycle, we are not getting Odyssey 2 on the Switch. And I don't think we're going to get it on the Switch 2 because I don't think it's going to be called the Switch 2. I think we're going to get an entirely new Mario. But, Geeb, the question is, what's the gimmick? If we don't have Cappy, what's the new gimmick? What's something that they could really push the envelope with and take advantage of a system with even more power?
So, you know how there's green pipes in Mario?
Oh, yeah. I heard about those, yeah.
So, like, Mario's not in the game. And you're just Mario got stuck in the pipes, and the whole game is him trying to jump out of the pipes. So it's like Super Mario, what's the new one that came out recently?
I fucking hate you.
You're just Mario, you don't ever see. It's just a pipe with some eyebrows and a mustache. Let's go
around
with the pipe and jump around, and you're like, oh no, I'm still stuck in the pipe, but we're going to the next level.
In the chat, Power Matt just said Yoshi. I want to see Yoshi back in a mainline Mario game.
Yeah,
I would love to see that, like a rideable Yoshi in a 3D environment.
Bring it back, man. Bring back the Yoshi.
I would like to see that. That'd be very cool. I mean, a lot of things, like you're saying, actually, something that did, your stupid idea about the pipe actually did make me think about something. What if it was like a seamless open world type of thing where you could just literally go into a pipe and be in a different world? Like with
no loading screen.
No loading. Like with this faster stuff where you're just like bump in a new place.
Oh, I think you can guarantee. I think you can guarantee that the next Mario game is open world, because that's what they wanted to do with Odyssey. They just weren't able to achieve it because that game was running 60 1080, right? I mean, arguably not really, but where Breath of the Wild was 1080 30, so that's a lot less power it needs to be capable. I think with Odyssey, I don't know if it's all power was the reason why it wasn't open. Maybe it was also just a choice that they made, or maybe somewhere in between that. But I think you can bet that the next Mario game will be 3D Mario game will be open world.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be cool. Like if it was really like, honestly, like you could just go wherever, and maybe more. I'm not saying like change the style of what the game is, but like instead of making it like, oh, we're going to this world now, we're going to that world now, like, okay, we can go in and out of these different worlds and do different things here, and then maybe get like, oh, I just got a I don't know, some type of power up, and like, I'm gonna leave right now because I want this power up. I want to use it over here because I know there's this thing over here that I can get. You just hop in a pipe, go over to it, get it, and then okay, I got it. Now I'm coming back. You know what I mean? Just really moving around. Like that would be cool. I think that would take Mario to another place. And I'm simplifying that idea, but I feel like that'd be a good place to go with it.
Yeah, and I feel like this would be a good place to stop for today.
Love that.
Great episode, Drip. This is probably one of my favorite ones this year. Outside of our guest episode, of course, that was always fun last week. Thank you guys for tuning in to check out the Communication Error podcast. Hopefully, you checked out the content they've been putting out recently as well, and subscribe to them.
Yeah, they were fun. I want to have them back.
Oh, absolutely, especially the two of them, because Johnny's great to have on, and I'd love to have him on his own again. But it's especially fun to have the two of them because their whole shtick is like they argue with each other more than us, Drip, believe it or not.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I didn't think that was possible. So it's fine.
So I would love to have them back on and get like. Poke the bear there and try to get him to fight, like fisticuffs. Let's do it. No, we need to get invited on their podcast. We're gonna be nice. But anyway,
they already said we're in. It's fine. We don't have to be nice anymore. That's
true. When? That's the question. When? I want a date.
Yeah, we got to get that scheduled.
But yeah, awesome podcast, guys. Hopefully we can do this again. We will actually do this again tomorrow night for the members only. And again, what was the title I had for it? The Wii.
I don't know, but we're talking about the Wii U.
what Wii U missed opportunities. I had a great title. I'm gonna go back and rewatch
we'll go
this
back and find it. Whatever it was, it's gonna be great. You should become a member. There's a button right down there. We're gonna talk. Just hit that button.
We're gonna talk about the Wii U and how it was a missed opportunity, which I think was the title was. But the whole Wii U as a concept, what it had, what it lacked, why it failed, how it could maybe even those specific features could be implemented into the Switch 2. We will talk about all that stuff and more on the members show tomorrow night. Become a member. $2.99 a month gets you in right in the front door. $4.99 gets you all of the cool members features. So
that gets you in the back door. Hey.
Why that one? Why that sound, Drip?
That's the first one I saw, Geeb. Where I went.
Okay. We're going to sign off for now as far as the stream is concerned. But those of you guys in the I'm sorry, I got that backwards. As far as you guys in the stream, stick around. We're going to be hanging out for a little bit. But those of you listening on the audio side of things, we will see you guys next week.
Peace.
Wait.
Whoa,
we never said anything about chess on the podcast. Hold on. Hold the phone, Drip.
Oh.
We're going to cut this portion of the show into the beginning of the show. Yeah! Hi, everyone. This is us from the past. Or from the future. I'm sorry. This is us from the future. This is us.
Good Lord.
This is us from the future. We're going to be have chess on next week. Next Friday, we're having chess on the show. We forgot to mention it, so we're bringing this in and putting it in the beginning. We're having chess on the show. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. Chess and his community are planning something absolutely insane for us. I don't know exactly what it is yet. But it's going to be about music trivia. It's gaming.
It's video game trivia is the base. That's all we know. That's all we know. And chess
is this is going to be the Chess and Drip and G podcast because
it's going to be his show.
Chess is in charge. I hope he shows up with like a Bob Barker suit and microphone and everything.
I hope so too. I hope he's got like the long skinny microphone.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah, we need that. But again, we're gonna get back to the episode. Yeah, so we're gonna sign off for now, guys, and we'll see you guys next week.
Later.
Why did I put 4 fingers up? I don't know what that was about. Something wrong with me. It's the after show.
Yo, Metal Mo John with the $4.99 super chat. The back door line. That was funny.
The back door.
That's good. As soon as he said the front door, I said, God, talk about the next tier, because I'm definitely saying get you in the back door. Hilarious. I mean, you literally sat it on the tee for me.
Oh, I sure did.
Had to do it.
I sure did. Thank you, Metal Mojon, for the $4.99. Appreciate that. Made my wife chuckle with the back door. Very good, very good. Cool, man. Yeah, I'm excited for tomorrow night's members podcast. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it'll be a good one. How's everybody doing? Thank you guys. You guys were like very active in the chat.
Yes,
we were doing this
mainly about because we were reminiscing about the past Nintendo stuff, which is gonna get people
there was some
talking.
Stuff we didn't even the Game Boy camera.
Well, again, and that's an accessory. All right, it's not. I know,
man. One of my local buddies.
We'd be here all night.
Facebook the other day, and he's like, "Dude, look at this. Look what I found in my attic." And it was a Game Boy camera.
Nice.
Like, holy shit, man, that's nuts.
Yeah, we would have been here all night. We would have went through all the Nintendo gimmicks, every single thing. I mean, including their accessories. I mean, there's been a million. But yeah. How we doing, chat? How we doing? Good show tonight, I think, right? Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was good.
We got to 10 likes. Thank you guys for that.
Yes, Metal, I do drive a Pilot. Yes, thank you. 2015 Honda Pilot. Hey, man, I got like 100 kids. What can I say? I need that third row.
You have exactly 100 kids.
It's 100, yeah. I mean, God.
No wonder you're divorced.
That's what I'm saying, man. God.
Sorry, I had to do that. Good job relaxing with you fools. Good, just relaxing. Oh, I thought you were telling us good job relaxing. Oh, yeah. I mean, I was working. How about you, Dudes and Monsters? I've been working. But no, yeah.
No, Dudes and Monsters said something else too. Yeah, Banana Pill might actually put you in the hospital. When I was talking about the VR Mario Kart.
Yeah.
That would be fun, man. Could you imagine like first-person Mario Kart VR?
Yeah.
That'd be so much fun.
It could have been a thing if Nintendo just would have the foresight to say, you know what, we're gonna make you hold this to your face, but at least you'll be holding your controller.
God, what if Mario Kart 9 is Mario Kart VR?
Hey, thank you, Eric. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Feel free to check it out on the audio side of things. Make sure to leave a review on this podcast on Apple or on Spotify. The links are coming into the chat right as we speak. There's the Spotify link. Let's go get the Apple link. If you don't listen to the podcast on either of those, do it anyway. Leave the review. Guys, we really need reviews, like, desperately. So I didn't know
we were that desperate for reviews. I didn't know it was that big of a deal.
Our audio is not dying. Oh my god! But it's not
VR
growing.
Star Fox? Holy shit, that would be amazing.
It would be good. Our audio is not dying, but it's not growing, and it's just kind of just coasting. It's been coasting for like 2.5 years. We have not grown.
All I care about is this
in a long time on the audio side.
We're bringing the sponsors.
And you underestimate the market of audio podcasting.
I know. But that's your department, man. That's your department.
Here I am talking about it.
I know. Good job. You're nailing it. You're doing really good. Keep it up.
Yeah, audio podcasts are difficult to understand how it all works. I understand YouTube better than that. Oh, excuse me.
VR links crossbow training. Shut the fuck up. That would be amazing.
It could happen if you could strap it to your face somehow.
Well, I mean, if
no, here we go, Drip. Here you go, Drip. All you gotta do, here's what you gotta do. Take 2 solo cups, okay? Cut out the bottom so there's a hole. You cut it so the bottom of the cup, so they're double-sided. What you do is you glue that. You glue the solo cups. One here. Stop it. You glue one here and then one there, and then take this and strap it to your face. And then you can grab your Wiimotes, and you can play Link's Crossbow Training VR with the solo cups on your face. Listen, I've had some fire ideas tonight. The Mario
was one of them.
The Mario 3D game would be called Super Pipe Mario. That's what it would be called.
Also not one of them.
That's what it would be called.
Also not one. Geeb Labo. Yeah, I mean, the Labo thing, though, I mean, you could play VR games on the Switch now. You could just duct tape the thing to your head, I guess. You're overthinking it with all those cups and shit. Duct tape is...
Well, the cups give you the field of vision that you need. You need to separate the field of vision, you know?
All right, that's fine. Hear me out.
Yeah, Eric, that's
right.
Duck
Hunt in VR. Yeah. Yeah, Duck Hunt, right, Geeb?
Oh, I love Duck Hunt. I played on the Wii.
Not Duck Dynasty.
Shut up.
Duck Hunt.
Shut up.
We do know the difference, correct?
We do now.
Good.
Oh, man.
Glad to hear it. Glad to hear
it. Choo-choo, motherfucker.
Angry at New Horizons. Strength is annoying villagers in VR Animal Crossing. Oh, man, I don't know why I went back to Animal Crossing. I've played it like 2 nights this week.
It's fun to go back sometimes.
5 hours.
It's fun to go back sometimes. I did. I told you the other night. I've gone back to it a few weeks ago, and
yeah,
it's probably been another couple weeks. I go back for like 2 days in a row, and then then I'm off for 2 weeks, and go back on for another couple nights in a row, and then I'm off for like a month. They keep every time I log on, it's funny because I'm a bald character in the game. But when you log back on after a while, your hair's all messed up. So for me, I walk out and I have like crazy mad like bedhead, and they do the whole and they shake it all off, and then suddenly I'm bald. It's like that doesn't track.
That escalated quickly.
Yeah. Well, honestly, that's how it felt in real life when my hair went.
Is anybody else still playing Animal Crossing? I'm curious. Is anyone else that's here right now playing Animal Crossing still?
Is Drip ever going to stream Wind Waker or Twilight Princess on Twitch? Thanks for answering.
I am.
Hashtag feed the G.
I am going to do that. Last I checked, I put a poll out to see which one I should play, and last I checked, it was literally split 50-50.
With how many votes, Drip?
So, I don't know, like 300?
It was hundreds, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know. It's fucking crazy. But I'm going to play one of them, yeah. I'm going to start... God, I wanted to do it. I wanted to do it this week. I'm going to start one. Oh, let me ask you, Mega. Actually, I'll just ask this chat completely. We got one right there. Which one would you rather see me start playing? Twilight Princess or Wind Waker?
I vote Twilight Princess personally.
That is my favorite Zelda game. It's actually my favorite game.
And here's why I say that, because if there's a chance we get it, both those games on Switch, I think Wind Waker's one you got to play first on Switch. So might as well play Twilight Princess now. While I don't think that game really
got one for
benefits
Twilight Princess, one for Wind Waker. But yeah, I do want to do that. I'm gonna go look. I haven't looked at that poll
hey, go check it out.
Quite some time. Oh God, we're live.
We are live.
It just popped up on my phone too. View channel, community tab. It's still 50-50.
Oh my God, how many votes?
Not 300, 229.
I mean, that's still a lot of votes, dude. That's a lot of people to 50-50. Be split with.
Wind Waker was a great drinking game. Oh my God, that's right. We turned that into a drinking game. What did I have you guys doing?
I don't even remember. I was there, but I don't remember.
I mean, and I know what I did in Animal Crossing. Every time I hit the wrong button to do something and I like pick something up or...
Oh God, you used to drive me insane, man. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, I just hit the wrong button all the time. Like shit, I didn't mean to pick that up.
I know it was because you're hopping back and forth from PS5 and Switch.
Yeah.
But, But it's it was still infuriating to watch it. You know,
it happened just a lot.
It's like, my God, just dig.
Yeah, every
just
time
dig.
I fell off, that's what it was. Every time I fell off the boat. Which happened a lot. That also happened a lot. That's when we got Eduardo Leon too. He came in and told me how
Eduardo Leon. We need to make a shirt. Our merch. It says Eduardo Leon, and like it's all. And if anybody ever asks why somebody's wearing an Eduardo Leon shirt,
the story
what
is
if Eduardo Leon
like,
would walk up and be like, "Why the hell is that my name on that shirt?" Well,
he said, "Man, you're terrible at Wind Waker, and that sucks because Wind Waker is like the easiest Zelda game ever." I was like, "Ow." Okay. Damn, bro.
That's how you really feel. Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, Drip. Well, Drip. I'm ready to call it. If you're not,
I'm ready to call it. I got Bad Batch to watch, man. Star Wars to watch.
I kind of want to rewatch the little series right now. I want to take because they're only 20 minutes, right? So was that 3 hours?
I started the
7 episodes.
I started back on the first season last week. I'm slowly going through all of it again.
Yeah,
there's a lot I forget.
I know, man, because they're short. You know. Yeah, get a Dixon cider. That's right.
I will. I think
That's another shirt merch idea.
Listen.
Beer of the week, Dixon cider.
Listen, we have to go back and find that. Make that. We got to make that entire thing a short because that's fucking hilarious.
Oh my God.
I give it to you, Fappy. You got us. You fucking got us. I did not even see that one coming.
That's right. So guys, on your way out, please leave us a like. If you on your way out, please we're at the 10 likes. It'd be great to get to 15 before this live stream is over, which is going to be in just a second here. So guys, you are amazing. We'll see you guys tomorrow night for the members pod. We got a few people hanging out in the members pods right now. It would be great to have more of you. Of course, with those podcasts, we're more interactive with you guys. So if you like chatting with us, make sure to hop in the member stream. $2.99 a month. Listen, my fiance got Starbucks recently. Listen, it's not even a third of a cup of Starbucks coffee right now. Let me tell you something. Listen, I get it. I'm broke right now too, but if you can buy Starbucks, maybe just don't get your Starbucks and get 3 months of Drip and Geeb. I mean, I'm just saying. Priorities, guys. But you guys are awesome. Hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow night. If we don't, we'll see you next Friday for sure for chess. I would like to get 2 podcasts out next week because why the hell not?
We're fucking doing it, G. Don't worry about it.
Wednesday and Friday, but definitely next week will tentatively be 3 because we're also doing members next week as well. But anyway, we're busy. Hey, Drip, we're busy next week. But for sure, we'll do it Friday night with chess. Make sure to hang out for that. Should be super fun. We'll see you guys then. Good night.
Bye.